Okay, this is my third take. Wasn't quite happy with the last ones, and I sort of spaced out a few times, but that happens when you have lupus, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Okay, that and one other thing. And a million things that could go wrong in your body. Hello, I am Kate Huddleston Gallipo. I am the author of Bloodlines Chupacabra, and I have two channels, one on YouTube and one on Instagram under Obscure Moon One. I mostly write, create dark fantasy, gothic, uh, except for that one cryptid. Yeah, that actually was something a friend asked me to do, so I wrote a script and screenplay. They were going to make a movie, nothing happened of it, and since I own the rights to it, I decided, okay, I'm just going to pull it out of the computer and dust it off and turn it into a short novella. And at some point, yes, I would like to go back to that and actually redo it, make it better, and maybe get some illustrations in there, take some Leonardo AI, mix it with a little bit of DaVinci Resolve, and see what I can come up with. That's a project for later, because right now I've actually got 3 other books that I'm working on. One has 19 chapters, and I started 2 more. And I have a 4th one actually that's printed out that I wrote like 15 years ago. Trying to figure out what to do with that. I didn't have the time to do this before. I was raising a family. I have 2 kids. I have a husband. I have 2 dogs. So, and the whole house thing, and COVID kind of fucked everything up for us for a little bit, but we're getting back on track. But what happened with me is I was working a lot. I burned out. My health went down the toilet basically. I was in a situation where I was in a temporary, what was supposed to be temporary. It was not good. It was a very toxic environment. And my family and I, once we were we kind of got waylaid, I guess you could say. I really don't want to go into full detail, but if you have any questions, I will answer those. You can just leave a comment or whatever. I don't go into personal details. I'm not about to get like super personal. I'm a very private person, so doing these videos, this video particularly, is a really big deal for me actually. For me, it was all about confidence, and that was something I was lacking. I have massive CPTSD, PTSD, anxiety. I've suffered with those for my whole life. And I'm not afraid to say this, that is solely my mother's fault. A lot of people are probably going to be like, well, you always want to blame your parents, but I actually have a legitimate reason. She's a succubus from the 10th circle of hell, who was also a very hypocritical Jehovah's Witness, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm very outspoken against that as well. It's a patriarchal conformity. I'm not about to go on a rant and be like, oh, I hate men or anything like that, and I'm not some uber feminist, just to be clear on that. I'm about me. I'm about my family. My family is extremely important to me, and that was one of the things that brought me to this with my health. Toxic people can create a very hellish landscape. The stress that is induced has such an impact on your person. It's not about the people around you. Everyone just wants to look at you and go, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're just lazy, you're useless. Heard a lot of that. You're fatigued, you're exhausted. Your body is literally trying to kill you when you have systemic lupus, when you have multiple sclerosis. There are, ALS or whatever you got diagnosed with. I was misdiagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroid disease. My endocrinologist, it's not your thyroid. So what the hell is it? test after test after test after test after test. My antibody level test came back so extremely highly abnormal, elevated. I don't think it goes any higher than that. 1 to 80 titer. Now, those are the antibodies that are floating around in your body. Now, even if it was diluted by, like, say, I forget, was it 160 or something like that, you're still going to find antibodies. Even if you diluted it, and here's the really funny thing is, the sedimentation rate on top of that was 8 to 27. And this is the really weird thing that I found out. When they're diluting these, they use Russell's viper venom. Yeah, actual snake venom. That actually was like, I mean, as much as I hate those things, that was fucking cool. So getting back to the antibody level. So your antibody level, your antibodies that are floating around in your body, when those are elevated, that's why mine hit abnormal. Hi, abnormal. Hello, Abby, someone. I had a speckled pattern with that, which is common with about, I think it's 4 or 5 different types of autoimmune conditions. One of those being Sjogren's, I tested negative. Another one being mixed connective tissue disease, negative. Rheumatoid arthritis, negative. I don't have multiple sclerosis. I don't have scleroderma. I have lupus. Most people don't understand. They think, oh, it's that rash that people get on their face, you know, right across here. Singer Seal had the discoid form, which caused those scars on his face. I've actually had that on my upper eyelid. I had to take pictures of these things. I had some over here. Now, it is taking me years to get rid of that hyperpigmentation from that. It leaves scars. It damages your body inside and out. And then you get the rash right across here. You can't see mine right now. I do have full documentation of everything. I leave no corner untouched. So, yeah, I mean, your body's literally attacking yourself. You're kicking your own ass. It's frustrating. It's so frustrating, and people don't understand why you're tired all the time, why you don't sleep. I get 4 to 5 hours of sleep at night if I'm lucky, and on top of that, at one time I was working from 8 to 4 for quite some time as a data entry specialist. Oh, yay. Anyways, it was a good job. It was fun, and I actually really enjoyed it. Not afraid to say I worked at City Hall. I'm not going to say where in City Hall. But it was great. I worked with a lot of great people, and I had a fantastic boss. It was just at the point with the last election, not getting into politics, it's just that's when I burnt out. I went from a healthy 145 pounds to 103. Lupus cachexia, inflammation, it disrupts your appetite. It disrupts your entire life. So, even more fatigue. Can't figure out why you're losing weight, can't figure out why your hair is falling out, can't figure out why your skin is doing all this weird shit. Lupus. So, yes, people, if you don't know, and those of you that do, you understand this and you totally get me. You've been through this, you're going through this, whether or not you've gotten your diagnosis or you're waiting your diagnosis, waiting treatment. I'm actually still waiting treatment. I see my rheumatologist next week, in fact, because of that rash, because when it flares up, as soon as you hit the sunlight, any little bit of sunlight is going to set the shit off. We're like figurative vampires. Gotta limit your garlic intake. I said garlic. Whatever. Your garlic intake. Very, very minimal. They don't tell you that. You literally have to find this out for yourself. Your sun exposure, I was sitting outside thinking that I was just getting vitamin D and actually making it worse. And I've only just been diagnosed, not even a year yet. So, all that time I thought I was doing something good for my system, getting vitamin D, taking certain herbal supplements, taking things. It was actually making it worse because I did not know that I had lupus. They told me it was a thyroid condition. Like 9 years ago. Yeah, that was pretty frustrating. Couldn't figure out. I'm on armor-thyroid. I'm off armor-thyroid. My thyroid levels were going up when she said they were low. It's because of those metanephrines and the norepinephrine levels. Those things that happen. That's what happens when. Oh, and I'll get to that later. Because that's a whole separate thing in itself. But it was not helping my lupus. It was not helping the anxiety. It was making everything so much worse. 4 years ago, my hair started falling out again. I've had this happen like 4 times. And the same thing with the weight loss. Couldn't figure out why I kept losing weight every time a little bit of stress. Come on, a little bit of stress is one thing, but this was like a fuck ton. This was heavy. I was in a toxic environment, and that wasn't helping, and I basically had to endure. And I had to endure a lot of criticism and judgment for something I could not control. People expect you to control everything. They think that, it's all mental. Oh, you're just mental and you're mentally unstable. You have a mental disorder. You have a mental illness. It is not a mental illness when your body is killing you slowly. It is not a mental illness when you're fatigued so bad you don't want to crawl out of bed because you're not sure if you can make it through the day without collapsing from exhaustion. It is not a mental illness when you have pain all of the time. That is not in your head. Anyone who tells you that can go suck an egg. Seriously. My biggest criticism came from some members of my family. Not my immediate family. When I say immediate family, I mean my boys and myself and my husband. My immediate family is a good support system for me and has been and has had to see me go through this for years. And I must have gone through this since, let's see if I can remember when I started feeling weird. It was probably around the age of 13, but in the last 20 years, it has really gotten bad. And I was told I had fibromyalgia. That is such a junk diagnosis. It's a real thing, but they don't know what the fuck it is. And if you have fibromyalgia and you have all these symptoms, and I'm going to talk about a lot of other symptoms at some point, I'm not going to give out medical advice either. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You seek a professional for that, because that's not me. I'm just here laying it out and basically trying to help you understand what they don't tell you, what they do tell you, and if you do know, that's great, because the more you educate yourself on it, the more you advocate for yourself, the better, because you have to. There is a serious lack of rheumatologists in this country as is, and I mean, I was literally looking at, hey, I'm going to renew my passport because the best ones are actually in Germany. Seriously, but yeah, I don't exactly have an extra 10 grand to go hop over there and hope I get an appointment, then go. So, yeah, the U.S. has a really massive problem with our medical at the moment, and I know a lot of people probably disagree with me on that, but they're not me, so shut up. It's your life. Your life is mine is mine. This is my thing, from my point of view. And it is, from my point of view, from my person, and this is a real person, by the way, not my AI avatar clone, which I do like using because of having lupus, and I use that through HeyGen. That does make my life easier. The use of having that, plus the DaVinci Resolve, just makes things that I do so much quicker. It's just the writing. Sometimes I get so exhausted, and I mean, I wrote one book in like 2 months. I'm not finished with that one. See, it takes a lot of thought process, and when you have lupus, you get brain fog, you can't think, you can't sleep, and then it's a vicious cycle, and then it starts all over again, because then you get the pain, you get the flare-ups. I'm in agony right now. I may not show it because I've lived with this for so long. I've learned how to handle it. I've had to. I've literally had to. fucking hate pain medication. It doesn't do shit. One of my doctors actually gave me OxyContin, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have another issue in my body called central lumbar stenosis. I have a fragmented vertebral wedge. My back is basically broken. I actually fractured a vertebrae when I was 19, so that's about, Jesus, almost 30 years ago. Yeah, seems about right. About 28 years ago. So I was on the job and I got hurt, and then a couple of years later I found out I actually broke my back. Couldn't figure out why I was having so much back pain. So that, on top of lupus, when you're in pain, that is going to activate every nerve in your body. Everything is going to feel like it's on fire. If you've ever had a sunburn, that's what your skin feels like. Your back hurts, your neck hurts, your face hurts, your eyes are watering, your nose is literally dripping sometimes. There's a lot of gross stuff involved with lupus. Irregular periods, infertility, hormonal issues, so many skin issues. God, the one that I can't stand, the lupus chilblains, the paresthesia. Paresthesias, your hands and your feet go numb along with that, and I also have Raynaud's phenomenon, which your fingers and your toes, depending on the temperature, can turn red, white, and blue, literally. Might tend to turn purple sometimes. And then when that happens, you get the chilblains, lupus chilblains. You are not able to carry oxygen through your body like you should. It's not a disorder where it's dangerous, but the chilblains can cause problems when that happens, when that Raynaud's activates. I've had my toes turn practically black. And on top of that, it didn't help when I broke them like twice. You get these like little red like blotches on your toes. The skin starts kind of flaking. It basically looks like you haven't taken care of your feet, or you haven't maintained it, and you look like you've got calluses. But what it is literally the skin is dying. It ulcerates. It can form little blood blisters, and I'm going to tell you, it is excruciatingly painful, and I have to walk on my feet. So I mean, I got things I got to do, so I wear about the most comfortable shoes I can. Soaking your feet doesn't really do anything. The best thing to do is, if you've got betamethasone on hand, that does help. It can soothe it temporarily. Methylprednisone helps to a degree. The Medropac is such a temporary fix. Immunosuppressants, yeah, best thing you can do. I had yet to even get there. I do have hope with that. So yeah, having constantly numb hands, my fingers, specifically these, the fingertips. I couldn't even thread a needle if I tried. Feeling things, sometimes I drop things, my hands cramp up. There's also lupus arthritis, which can cause almost rheumatoid-like pain in your palms. You get a lot of muscle cramps. Your feet, there's something called dystonia. Your feet can, I've actually got a video of it, it's wild, because I couldn't figure out what was happening. I thought it was just from standing on my feet a lot. Foot cramps, excruciating. I mean, your whole entire foot is just inflamed. The top of your foot literally feels like it's being pressed and then ripped apart at the same time. Right in the middle of that, if you're having a lupus flare-up, I mean, sometimes you can literally feel like your bones are being ripped right out of you. The foot cramps are just horrible. Plantar fasciitis, the bottom of your foot is gonna flare up, and that is like walking on 1,000 miles of broken glass. The toes swell up, the chilblains, the Raynaud's, the foot cramps, fingers, the hands, your body, your skin, your hair, I mean your nails. Your nails start to warp and distort. I've got those stupid lines on mine. My fingernails actually suck. Your hair, your eyelashes, your eyebrows, I mean everything's prone to falling out. And we thought we were taking care of ourselves and doing everything right, and then come to find out that it was all for naught. No matter what you did, no matter what you tried, and you were finding out that if you're like me, that it's like, okay, I thought I was doing something good, and then you realize, oh shit, I've got a whole different disease. It's a lot to take in, and I mean, I could talk about this for like a whole hour, 25 days, whatever. Yeah. So on top of that, you also have to worry about your internal organs, your heart, your lungs, your brain, kidneys, especially if you've been diagnosed with lupus and then I told you your kidneys were off. Your urine is consistently cloudy. It has a, I'm just sorry, gross factor. It smells a bit like chicken broth when you have stage 2 kidney disease. Water is not going to do shit. You can drink so much water. You're thirsty all the time. You're drinking so much water to the point where, I mean, you're literally peeing all night. 20 trips to the bathroom. Urine's still cloudy. It can be clear for like 2 seconds if you've drank, like, if you're like me, I go through water like crazy. The methylprednisolone, I think, stopped it for like a day and then it went back. I take moringa, I take magnesium, I do things that do seem to be working for me. I don't push that on anyone because there is very limited research with lupus. It's been noted with rheumatoid arthritis. It seems to have pretty good luck with that. Excuse me. Doing everything I can to just get through the day, get through the week, get through the month, get through the year, and hope that at the end of the day, by the time they do finally get me treated with this, that I don't need a kidney. I already asked my kids. They told me to go fuck myself. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't even ask them. Couldn't do that to them. The only person I can actually probably relate this to, actress Selena Gomez. Absolutely adore her. I don't care what you think about her. I love her. I think she is really brave to come out with it and talk about it, and I think that's a lot, because that is a very personal thing and people don't understand. But I think if you don't talk about it, that it's only going to make it worse. That, you know, there's not a lot really said. The medical community kind of leaves you hanging sometimes. Again, like I said, lack of rheumatologists. I was one of those people. I thought I was going to fall through the cracks, especially with the weight thing. Now, lupus cachexia, we talked about the kidneys already. There's only so much you can go on the kidneys. I luckily do not need a new kidney. As far as I know, my kidneys are fine. Well, stage 2, but it's not dangerous. I can handle it. It does cause a lot of back pain. It does irritate that lovely central lumbar stenosis. Sitting here doing a video, you can see the lines under my eyes, you can see the bags under my eyes. I don't sleep. I'm on quetiapine, which is an antipsychotic, which works great for anxiety. I take Lunesta to sleep. I also take melatonin, and that's another thing with lupus. There is daily melatonin loss. You lose that natural melatonin. We produce our own natural melatonin. We have serotonin. We have dopamine. When all those chemicals are thrown off, it throws your moods off. It throws all of that off. So, I hate antidepressants, I can tell you that. I'm gonna be honest, I absolutely hate antidepressants. I've never felt so worse in my life. Um, Mood stabilizers definitely help me. I'm not a depressed person by nature. I don't have bipolar syndrome. If you do, you have my sympathy because that is a fucking tough thing to deal with. I've got a lot of friends who've dealt with bipolar. Uh, um, they usually, I'm gonna be honest, they usually prescribe this stuff to paranoid schizophrenics. Those people that you see walking down the street talking in their hands. Work downtown, so yeah, I was used to that. I saw a lot of that. And my ear is like really itchy right now. Sorry. Didn't want to have to itch my ear on camera. Yeah, I'll go on a little bit more in the next video, and if you can resonate with this, just drop a comment. I mean, you don't have to like and subscribe. I'm not going to push that shit. It's totally up to you. But I will upload a few more things. I will go into other topics. I will talk about personal things that happen, certain points in your life, ladies, if you're older like me. And I'm just going to mention it. Perimenopause. Yay! That entry before you turn into a total crone. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm done for now, and I will upload again whenever I feel like it. So, see ya.